Hi friends, it is I, Lavender Queen, the Blaze Baddie, and I have gathered you all here because I want to tell you guys the story about the time that my plug tried to finesse me with some shrimp. And yes, you did hear that correctly. But before we get into that, I just wanted to announce that I've had this channel for a year now, and that is really exciting. I just want to thank everybody that has supported my content through this time. And if you are new here, I also want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to check me out. Hopefully you stay, and if you do, I would be so grateful. But let's get into our story time. This takes place in 2018. This was like a few months after I turned 21. I was still living in Maryland at the time with my, he wasn't my fiance yet. We're not together now, so this is all gonna be like past tense. So I was living with my boyfriend at the time in Maryland. When I was living in Maryland, I kind of struggled to like have a good plug or a consistent plug. I did have like a few month stretch where I had this really awesome plug. His name was Sheldon. That's not really his name, but that's the name we're gonna go for with this video. Sheldon always had like a menu of different strains. He would literally text me the menu each week. And I think I pretty much, same thing I would do now, just like make one bulk purchase every payday. But I digress. I had Sheldon for a few months, and then he just stopped texting me. And then I found out later on that he got like raided and shit. So that makes sense. So in the time that I didn't have Sheldon, I was really struggling to find weed. I was usually just like going around asking different coworkers like each week if they could find something. And I had this coworker, we'll call her Mandy. She was gonna help me get an ounce. So basically she was going to stop at my house before work. I was gonna buy the ounce. She was gonna go to work, whatever. But I wake up in the morning. I did not hear from Mandy at all. And then I come to find out that she had got pulled over and arrested on the way to work. And the cops now had my weed. So that sucked. So I spent like literally the whole day just texting around, trying to find somebody that could get me an ounce. So I ended up texting my boyfriend's friend. We'll call him Fred. I ended up hitting up Fred, and he ends up coming over and smoking with me. And me and him are both texting each other too, because like, you know, he couldn't even figure anything out. Like, his go-to was his sister. His sister wasn't in town. So me and him are just sitting around the house, just like texting people all fucking day trying to find this weed, because he knew that once I got this weed, I would smoke with him as well. As we're texting people, he was like, you know what? Why don't we try Sheldon? It's a shot in the dark, but let's try Sheldon, because Fred is the person that introduced me to Sheldon in the first place. So I'm like, okay, we'll try it. So Fred gets in contact with Sheldon, and just from the jump, it was some like really weird energy. Just like he was being sketchier than usual. Like he didn't even want Fred bringing me to like get the weed, even though like he knew who I was. I went to Sheldon on multiple occasions without Fred. Like it was really weird. And like at first, like he thought Fred was someone else. Like I don't even know who he thought Fred was, but it was all kinds of weird from like just the get-go. But we're just like, you know what? Sheldon has always been our guy. Let's fucking do it. Because like Sheldon's never like ripped me off or anything before. Like he was always the kind of person, like I said, he had the full menu. He would do fronts, and he was really generous about the fronts. Like he would do like a front for a whole week at times. So I definitely appreciated having Sheldon as a plug at that point in my life. So we get to Sheldon's house. I was instructed to stay in the car. Like we ended up going to a whole different house than the house that we were going to before. Like it was some weird like fucking trap house where like before Sheldon had like this really nice like big house in the woods. Like, it was no creepy shit, but like, it was a nice house. And now we're pulling up to some weird fucking trap house, also in the woods. I sit in the car, and Fred comes back with this bag of shrimp. Actually, 2 bags of shrimp. And I'm like, okay. And Fred's just like, yeah, Sheldon's being really weird. He kept talking in code this whole time. He's like, he kept asking me if I got 100 for the shrimp. And I'm just like, yeah. And then he just gives me these bags of shrimp. So like, we're thinking that the weed was in these bags of frozen shrimp. So, and like, we didn't really investigate it. Like, we trusted Sheldon. So we like drove all the way home with these bags of shrimp. Turns out like these bags of shrimp weren't even open. He literally just gave us bags of shrimp. So now we're just sitting here like, what the actual fuck just happened here? And we're pissed. And like, my boyfriend's at work at the time, so we're just like waiting for him to get home. And in the meantime, we're like contemplating. So like, my ex is pretty nerdy. So we like, at our apartment, we had like some like katanas and like really cool swords like displayed on the wall. So we just kept talking about pulling up with these katanas and shit and just spooking Sheldon. So my boyfriend, we'll call him Josh. Josh gets home and we're like, you know, letting him know what's going on. We're telling him we need to take the katanas off the wall and pull the fuck up. Meanwhile, all right, so this is a description of my ex. Many people compare my ex to Maui from Moana. So he's like a really tall guy. He's light skinned. He's like not even Polynesian. He's white and black, biracial. But he's very tall, bigger build, has like the curly hair. It was like longer. Now it didn't like go down like Maui's. It kind of more was like poofy and fro-y. But many people would always compare him to Maui. So you'd think, you know, looking at this guy, like, you know, you probably wouldn't want to fuck with him because he would crush you. Meanwhile, Josh, he's a whole ass pacifist. Like, he's a teddy bear. He is a really kind-hearted soul. So, like, he really does not want to, like, resort to violence unless it's absolutely necessary. But we kind of just wanted him to come with us to be, like, our muscle while we pulled up with the katanas, but he shut down the idea of us pulling up with katanas, so that didn't happen, unfortunately. I was so ready to pull up with them fucking katanas and just spook them. Like, we were gonna, like, these katanas really weren't going to do any damage, I don't think. Like, they were actually quite dull, but I just wanted to scare him. But anyway, I guess having a boyfriend that looks like Maui from Moana is a next plan B. So we go back to his house, we go back to the trap house, and by the way, this is in a town called Trap, Maryland. And yeah, that might be kind of doxing, but I don't care. It's funny, we were in the trap in Trap, Maryland. They had me sit in the car again, and Josh and Fred go to talk to Sheldon, and then they come back with like, I want to say like a quarter of weed at least. Josh told me that, you know, they basically just talked, and he had like a whole ass sob story. I don't even remember what the sob story was, but he basically told them that he couldn't return the $100, but he could at least give us a quarter and pay back $40 the next day. And at this point, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I just need to smoke at this point. So yeah, we get home, and the very next day, Fred hits me up with the $40, and he tells me that he didn't even get the $40 from Sheldon. He ended up getting in contact with Sheldon's wife. Apparently, after we left Sheldon's house, he had a whole ass mental breakdown and ended up being like 5150'd. So Sheldon met up with the wife, got the $40 back, and basically told us never to contact them ever again. And I ended up buying an ounce off of Fred's sister right after that. And that is pretty much the end of the story there. There really is no moral to the story aside from check your shit before you leave. Shit. Check your shit in the presence of the plug. The fuck? Like, that was really stupid. That was really poor judgment on my part. But like I said, I thought I trusted this guy after many times in the past. But trust no one. Always check your shit. And if you live in a recreational state, just fuck the plug. Go to the dispensary. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this story time because this is definitely always one of my favorite stories to tell people. And I will see you for next month's upload. But until then, bye. Have a beautiful time.